Hi, Rich Smith from Mustangs to Fear, and what we're going to show you today is block sanding. We get a lot of requests from people, phone calls, emails, people asking to see more in detail on how we build these cars and help them out for the people that are building them themselves. So what we're going to start with is some block sanding, and we're going to show you some of the products that we use in the blocks and what it takes to actually block a panel out. We'll spend anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours easy on each and every panel that we do. So this door has been primed the second time around. We had primed it with 5 coats of primer. The first time we blocked it with 180 grit paper. Now we've got another 4 to 5 coats of primer on it, and we're going to block it with 220. So we're going to show you some of the things that we use. First of all, we're going to use a 3M dry coat. And what this is for, this is going to show us where our high and low spots are at. So we're going to put an even coat on this, and we'll show you how this stuff works. Now they do make this in an aerosol, but the powder doesn't build up on your sandpaper as much. So the dry coat is a far better way to go. So we're just going to put an even coat on this thing. And it's just going to show us our high and low spots. So we'll get a complete coat because we've got a lot of angles on this door to show you what it's going to take to block this thing out. Now it's already straight because we've already blocked it once before, but it just gets better every time we keep blocking it. And we'll show you what it looks like when we start to cut it here. We're going to start with a longer board here. This is an adjustable one. This does have guide rods in it. So what that allows this board to do is to bend and flex. But this is a pretty straight panel. So we're actually going to start cutting this, and we're going to show you what this looks like. We'll show you why we use a guide coat. Now I'm going to move this block at several different angles. I never stay with the exact same angle. Main thing is always keep your block clean. We'll blow that off. Now that's giving you an idea. See where look, this still needs to be blocked right through here. So this is only just one quick pass. So you can see that area right there, and you can see that area right there. So we're going to continue blocking this thing until we knock that out. Now if you notice, there's a crease right up here. So when you've got a heavy build primer on these things, you have to watch that you don't change your body lines, because these were all put together where the lines were lined up. So with this much primer on these things, we can actually shift that line up to where it wouldn't match the other lines. So usually what we'll do in a case like that is we'll run masking tape down our crease. And we'll run a straight line of tape just like that, and then we'll sand right up to that tape, and that'll keep that peak exactly where we want it so it never changes. And then what we would do would be pull that tape, and we would run it on the bottom side next. And then we'll come up from this angle. So now that peak is never going to move. And you're going to see we're going to use a lot of different sanding blocks to get all these areas blocked out nice and true. And I'm going to be constantly changing my angles, which way I'm going with this thing. So I'm not taking a real sharp cut in this thing. I'm letting it glide and covering quite a bit of area so that we're not cutting grooves in this stuff. And you'll still see the powders on there. Then we're going to come back up and catch this edge a little bit more. Now, I've been doing this long enough. I know where my edge needs to be, so I'm not gonna change the edge at all. And then usually, when I get it completely done, completely blocked the way I want it, I don't want a razor sharp peak there. So I'll just take a block and I'll just lightly go over this edge and kind of round it out a little bit, because like I say, you don't want the thing razor sharp. It has a nice edge to it. And basically that edge would be done. Now, we got a lot of, like I say, we got a lot of different areas on this thing. So we'll cut a little bit up through here. You can see this is curved through here. So we're gonna cut this at an angle like this. You're gonna kind of see where our high and low spots are at. And all this will come out when it's all said and done. You won't see any dark shadows in there. Same thing, now we got a curve up in here. So we got a flat block for right now. Now if you do get to a point to where you're starting to see your body filler, or you're still starting to see bare metal, you've actually went down that far, and you still have a low spot like that, then what you'll probably wind up doing is putting a skim coat of filler over it. Now, we'll go back up to this crease, and I'm going to run this up at an angle like this. Now I'm not trying to keep a small pattern, I'm trying to keep it wide so I don't put a groove in it, which you can with a round file here. Like I say, this takes probably at least a minimum of an hour of steady, repetitive blocking to get these panels straight. Anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on the size of the panel that you have. Now you can see I went this direction with this. And we'll blow this off, and you'll see where we're at on our low spots. Always keeping our paper clean. Now you can see I've still got some low spots right here, but I've got plenty of material. Like I say, I've got 4 to 5 coats of primer on this. I'm a little low right here. So now I'm going to come back at the other angle with this thing. I'm going to come back at it this way. You're going to watch this edge start to disappear here, this black. Now I'm not trying to get down too much into the flat area. I'm still trying to work just on the curved area here. But I am bringing my block down far enough, like I say, so I do not groove this thing out. Now we're going to look at our edge up there. Constantly blowing it. When that primer gets on there, it will not cut. Now you can see how much better that is. I've still got a little bit of an edge right here. Now, a lot of different sizes that we'll use. I'll come up with a smaller one like this, and I'm going to come right back up into this area here. And we're going to come back down. So we're doing a crisscross. We hit these things at several different angles. Now you can see we have a little bit of a low spot right here. But I've got plenty of material on this thing. I'll take a longer one right now, and I'll hit this again. And this should start to come out. Now you'll see I'm probably trying to go a little bit straighter right now. So I'm not trying to get so much going down this way, because if you constantly blocked your door that way, then you would see waves when you look down the side of it. So once I've got pretty much all this cut, then I'll start focusing on going straighter with my block, but not completely straight, so I'm not putting a groove in it. I'm always going at an angle, one way or the other. If I'm not going that way, then I'm going this way. So we're going to see if we can get this low spot out right here. And she's just about out. We still got some right here we got to work. But like I say, there's plenty of primer on this thing, so we try to take it down as much as we can. This primer that we use is 4.5 mils per coat, so there's a lot of primer on it. But there won't be a lot of primer when we're all said and done. We'll have the bulk of this blocked off. And then we'll prime this door one more time. and we'll reduce the primer down so it won't be a high build, and we'll put 3, maybe 4 coats on again, probably 3, and then we'll wet sand this with 320, 400, and then 600, and then we're actually ready to base coat it. So you can see this is starting to come out now. I want to let you see what this is going to look like for a, a real low spot. Now, I want you to look real careful. You can see I've hit bare metal right here. I've just touched a little bare metal there, and I've touched a little bit of bare metal right there. So that's telling me that's as low as I'm going to go on that. Now I can still work right up to it and not take it clear to the very edge and see if that'll come out of there. If that doesn't want to come out, then we'll put 1 skim coat of filler in there, and then that'll come out on the last time that we block this. So it's giving you an idea of what it takes to block these things out. Now I still got material there, so I think I can probably pretty much still take that out of there.